Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of the Garage Studio Modelers. I'm Dave Forrest, and this is my good friend
Harvey Lowe.
And in today's episode, we're going to take a look at the brand new Tamiya H39 French light tank, which is built up here.
Has that ever been kitted before? That version?
Bronco.
Oh, Bronco did it. Okay.
And it was horrible.
Oh, is that right?
Oh.
Wow. I saw that in Japan when I was there. Yeah, the brand new release.
Yeah, what was the knock on the Bronco kit was the gear, the running gear. It was really hard to put together.
I like Tamiya for that purpose. I'd rather have a slightly simplified one.
Yeah.
Than
again,
I want every freaking bolt.
Which is surprising to hear from you, Mr. Scratch Builder.
I'm a lazy modeler.
Yeah.
You know the other company that does that? Is it Richie? Rich Models?
Yeah. Are they complex?
I have their brand care. Oh my god, there's like bolts. Like
no. Just come on, just make it easy.
Just make it easy.
Make it easy for us older, aging.
Does it come with the chain?
Yeah. Everything you see here is out of the box, with the exception of this little tarp I put on the back.
Oh.
And I might put a little
tarp. Kind of ruins the whole model, but that's my opinion.
Just
what'd you make it out of?
Tissue? Tissue paper. Yeah. Tissue paper and.
But what's the purpose of the what did they do that?
I don't know. They just
stowage.
Yeah, I guess they had this thing here for stowage.
Oh, okay.
That's on this anti-ditching thing.
Oh, that's what it is, anti-ditch. Now these saw obviously service in World War II.
Yeah, and then they were.
I can see the Panzer Kampfwagen in 30.
Yeah, so they were actually used by the Germans, inherited a bunch of these, so they used them. Late into the war, like they said, this one here, this German version.
Well,
is actually from 1945.
Well, stupid me.
They use these.
I did not. I should look at the box.
Yeah, they use these. I think.
More like partisan duty.
Yeah, behind. I mean, they weren't frontline because
right.
they were small.
Yeah,
right.
So it probably, as usual, goes together, eh?
Well, yeah, not bad. The only thing is though.
AI?
Yeah, we'll talk about that. So the only thing is that there's some. I have to do some filling, not a lot, and it's very easy to do because everything fits pretty well. Because you're building up the hull from multiple sections, so there are some natural like for example, I have to fill there's a seam here. I think that you have to kind of fill and make sure, but that's easy to do with just a little bit of Mr. Surfacer. And again, I use that acrylic Mr. Surfacer, the 500, which we talked about in previous episodes. And then there's a natural join here, so you leave that. You just have to kind of seal up the gap a little bit. There's another natural join here, which is already molded in. But then when you're putting in the for the towing hooks, there's a gap. You're inserting a piece into the hull, and then there's a gap around it. So you got to fill it.
Right.
And because it's all one piece. And then the turret is a complex shape, but a lot of it is a single cast. Mm-hmm. And you just have to fill up. There's a couple of side panels here to join, and there's a seam.
Is that why you added this gray filler?
Yeah. So I just put the filler in. Now I didn't. Now you see, a lot of folks that built this, they stippled everywhere, but the cast texture out of the box is pretty nice.
Oh.
And I don't know that you have to. So I just.
Some areas.
Yeah, I just built it up where I had to.
It wasn't uniform anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So, but for a complex, I mean, it's a small tank, but it's the running gear. I mean, look at the running gear; they're fairly complex.
And it went together well.
And it went together, yeah.
I take your advice now. I never did that before, where I do them separate. I like your. I put them glue them now and then finish them.
Yeah.
Because everything's aligned.
Yeah. Exactly. Now, some people have figured out a way of they put it on and they can take all of this off. So they glue the bogies to the track and then they come off. Maybe that's easier for weathering, but I find I can get in there pretty well.
And when we're judging, and I've judged at the knots, I've judged at. I'm just saying, first thing you look for is alignment of your traction wheels, and if they're off, that's it. Sorry, you're gone.
Because it's an easy way of disqualifying somebody from detention.
Is that turret glued on?
No. It comes off. So this actually comes off too.
Oh, but you're going to glue that later.
But yeah, I'll paint it separately.
Oh, I see.
But
yeah.
Because it's just it's hard to get in.
Yeah.
Right, all the little bits. Yeah. But it's a beautiful. Yeah, I'm on and off. This took me a couple of weeks. The grab handles, you got it. Tamiya, what are you doing? They're all this solid grab. Come on, everything else is beautiful, and you can't do. Yeah. You can't do the little grab handles.
Yeah, what I would do, Tamiya, right? Just put the little holes in, and then give you wire.
Yeah, or
the kit,
or just if they can, like, all the molding of the tools is sublime. Look at the molding of the tow hooks and the little eye bolt that goes in there.
It's good.
It's gorgeous. Like,
why did they do that with
you can do that,
handles?
but you can't give us grab handles to put on. Like,
yeah,
you're so close. You're so close.
Yeah. I think maybe they're aiming for a model that anybody can put together. But yeah, you're right. They should give you an option.
How hard is it? Like, they give you these stupid hooks to put in.
Yeah, and I've seen other companies give you grab handles to glue in.
Yeah, it's easy. Like, you can do it. Like, the technology's there. Anyway, a minor gripe.
Well, you should have told me, because I was at the Tamiya factory.
Yeah, you could have passed it
right
on.
up there. Say, hey, man.
But other than, so minor, but they're all like that. They're 48, I was cursing their 48 scale Stewart because there's like 16 grab handles on it. And they're all solid, and you gotta.
I see.
It's on a little tiny, like, it's just.
Right.
Like, come on, guys.
Right.
But other than that, like, it goes together like typical Tamiya. So the fact that they've managed to, like, make this fairly complex system. Like, this is complex.
Yeah, that running gear is complex.
The running gear is complex.
And
they've managed to, make it easy to put together.
Yeah, I just finished
I'll forgive the grab.
I just finished an Italian L40, and it's by Italeri. It's like, oh my god, it's very hard to do the running gear. So you can do that figure?
Yeah, their figures are. This is the best injection figure.
Really? Yeah.
Look at it. Like, they're stunning. Like, they've come a long way.
Yeah, their old figures were stick figures.
Yeah, their old figures were blocky and clumsy, but their new figures are like this compares. This certainly competes well with any injected.
Yeah, Alpine against Alpine.
But even against the Alpines and the the Bodis and the
it's come a long way.
Yeah, so this will be a great palette or test project to.
Yeah, I'm getting into figures now.
Right, because it's nice because it just gives scale. And it's a great pose, and French guy, very very nice scarf.
The only problem with the figure, he's not pointing. You have to have a guy pointing.
Yeah, there's always
he's pointing.
Like the Alpine figures. There's always somebody. Yeah, look
pointing,
at that. Over there.
Yeah.
This guy's just kind of he's
pointing?
French, right? So he's it's very
they don't point.
Very laissez-faire, as they say.
That looks like it's French 1940-ish.
Yeah. So these were in the Battle of France, which didn't go so well for France. But it's a beautiful kit, and nice. Like, this was about mid-40s Canadian.
I must admit, right? If you don't scratch build and super detail, you want to just get a nice kit to build, like Tamiya. Come on, it's
exactly.
Or Edward or something. It's just okay.
Yeah, and it's a simple camo. Like, there's other camos out there, but the one that comes in the box is just basically green and brown, easy to do.
Yeah.
Right.
And you did mention me off camera. You want me to?
Yes. So
I will do a design cut for vinyl cut for that decal for you.
Yeah. So I've asked Harvey to give me masks, to print out some masks or cut out some masks for the 64, because that's a big.
It's a clear. Yeah, you can see the clear decal film.
Yeah, it's
pretty.
And the decal, the Tamiya decals are thick-ish.
They are thick.
Like, they're not cartograph or. I don't know who prints echelons. But they're so thin.
When I was there at the Tamiya factory, I did start screaming at everybody, make better decals. I was screaming. Then security came along and took me away. But I made my point.
Well, it's good because they need to hear it. Yeah, their decals are thick.
Yeah.
It's funny, and maybe we'll do an episode on that Sherman Firefly. So I chose a scheme from Market Garden that has a triangle tactical symbol. Mm-hmm. And a tank regiment symbol. It's square.
Okay.
And what I did is I trimmed out all the excess carrier film.
Okay.
And put them on, and they blend right in.
Oh.
So.
But what about the middle where there's still carrier film?
Well, you can't, because it's not.
Right, but you didn't cut that out.
I didn't cut that out. No.
And that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I'll show you.
Is it a Canadian one?
No.
Traitor.
Well, they didn't have Canadian marking. Otherwise, I would have done one.
Okay. Did the Canadians use Fireflies?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they did. They did. I'm not sure what squadrons are.
So, one of my future projects.
I do have a Tasca, an old Tasca Firefly kit hybrid that has Canadian.
Here's one. I'm not a Sherman expert. Now that you mentioned it, one of my next projects is an M4A2 E8.
An M4A2 E8.
Not A3. The Americans didn't use them. And I want to do an M4A2E8 because the Canadians use them.
Well, the Canadians use the M4A4s.
Yes, but in terms of the E8 suspension, they use the M4A2s. Because all of their tanks during the war, they left them in Europe, and after the war, they used them. And I think they
use them in Korea too, right?
Yeah, but I think those were M4A3 E8s. They used M4A2 E8s for just training purposes. So, but there's no kit of the M4A2 E8. That's why I asked you. You have to mate the Sherman, the Soviet one, the 76 mil, onto an E8 chassis. And there's a whole bunch of...
So that turret with the E8 chassis.
Correct. And I have, I don't know how many... I searched the web. There's not a lot of pictures I could find. We'll do a separate... I'm droning. But they're at the Army base I'm at, they've got 2 of them. And I went up there to photograph. M4A2 E8s. They've got 2 of them. So I'm just going to post those on that because I can't seem to find pictures of the M4A2. Probably because the Yanks never used them. Okay, anyways, beautiful.
So anyway, so I highly recommend it. Anything that they put out these days is kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, and by the way, their newest is the M36 Jackson.
Jackson, yes.
Which I saw in Japan. The molds, beautiful.
Yeah, they do. Nice
I might get it, actually.
I will too. Yeah, just because it's Tamiya. Like, I got their Leopard, which I did, which is a beautiful kit. They're such a big kit.
Oh yeah, right.
Their A7 Leopard.
Yeah, by the way, they also released it in Shizuoka on 1/16th.
Leopard, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
that's big.
I think it's motorized.
Yeah, it's too big.
It is big. It's too big. Okay.
But yeah, so great kit, highly recommended. Just a couple of things to watch for with the turret just making seam lines disappear and blending in the toe shackle or the toe hook or toe shackle to the hull. But other than that, goes together.
Right, no aftermarket except for the grab handles.
No,
Your wire.
Yeah, exactly. Which I wouldn't even. So great, yeah. So this is like great out of the box. Takes a few evenings to build while you're, watching YouTube videos or hockey games or whatever. So
yeah.
So that's it. So that's it for this episode. We'll see everybody next episode.
Bye-bye.
Take care.